This is the Hollywood Outsider, our weekly movie and TV podcast with a new episode every Thursday. This is episode 140. We hit the 4-0. And this week we are discussing upcoming releases including Neighbors, Mom's Night Out, and Chef. We have a spoiler-free review of The Other Woman. Our From the Outside In topic this week, movie and TV sidekicks. That'll be pretty interesting. Latest in movie and TV news, including our own trivia segment. My name is Aaron Peterson, and with me today are my fellow host, Scotty Clark.
I'm pretty sure we hit the 4-0 100 episodes ago. But
You know what I'm saying. The 140 didn't make... Shut up. Brian Williams.
What's up?
And Justin McCumber.
What's up, what's up?
Well, we're doing the what's ups now, huh?
What's up?
Are you Dr. Galakowicz?
What?
I don't even know what you just said. Who's what?
It's an older Bud Light commercial.
Oh, from the 80s or what?
It was 90s.
Who shot JR, Brian?
JR.
He shot himself?
Yep,
Now,
with
wasn't
a bow,
it that little
with a
blonde
bow and
bitch?
arrow.
Bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow? He's Katniss all of a sudden?
Worst case of suicide I ever saw.
You had to shoot it up in the air and then stand beneath it, adjusting, waiting for it to come back down.
With a giant hat on. Let's get right into The Hobbit. We got to knock this out. The Hobbit changed its title from There and Back Again to Battle of the Five Armies. Now, when we originally talked about the title, you guys were all like, ooh, it's got to be. That's the only title it could be. I remember this very clearly because I said it sounded stupid and you guys were telling me how dumb I am. So I finally come into your line of thinking.
Come a
chameleon.
Shit, I was about to start saying
Me too.
So what do you guys think? Are you on board with the name change or not?
No.
No, I really like There and Back Again still. It's a perfect tie-in to the previous
To the
movies.
book.
So why do you think they changed it? Because I get that it makes it sound like it's more action. It's more, ooh, fire and brimstone. But I don't get why you would change it. There and Back Again seems more fitting. I've actually come around to it.
Peter Jackson's rationale sounded pretty good to me, though. I mean, basically he's saying that that Bilbo is already there. So it just sounds weird with the third movie to say There and Back Again. It loses the punch of that title, but I don't know if Battle of the Five Armies is
It just
any
sounds
better.
generic.
Yeah,
It sounds like Tony Leung and Jet Li should be attached to make this movie with a bunch of flying samurai and Masters of the Dragon Inn, something like that. I don't. Battle of the Five Armies just doesn't sound like a Hobbit movie.
I like There and Back Again. It's fitting for the book. I feel like they changed it mostly so that people who maybe weren't fans of The Hobbit enough to know where There and Back Again comes from, to give them more sense of, hey, this film's not, just could be a dude walking home. It's going to have action and battles and, come see this movie. I just think it's kind of boring.
That seems like a really weird concern.
I think they just think it's going to sell more because the last Hobbit was about 150 million bucks less. So I think.
So it did make $1 billion and a half. It just made $1 billion and.
I think it was shy of $1 billion. It only made like 900 million.
Oh,
yeah.
Poor New Line. Oh shit.
I don't know how they're going to make it work.
Fuck.
That's what they're saying. Our new show, 24 Live Another Podcast, is officially out. The series actually premieres May 5th, but we've already got episodes up. You can go to thehollywoodoutsiders.com/24 or just go to iTunes or Stitcher and look up 24 Live Another Podcast. And we will have a Spider-Man spoiler cast. Should be out by Tuesday here at the Ho. So look for that. Now, Brian, they are remaking Ben-Hur, and they have brought on Bible producers Mark Burnett and Roma Downey Jr. Do you think they're just trying to add a little Christian legitimacy to this?
Well, I wasn't really sure what you meant by Christian legitimacy.
Because Noah was seen as going against Christian values by a lot of Christians. So now that they're doing Ben-Hur, which is a Christian tale, bringing these two in, my opinion, to make it seem like, hey.
Yeah, well, these two, they created a TV just phenomenon. They even remastered it into a successful movie for the big screen. Basically, just recut it, trimmed it down to 2 hours, and slapped it up there, and just made more money. You figure Timur, my director, Man Crush, Timur Bekmambetov, is attached to direct it. So that alone has got me hoping for chariots that are just kind of riding over the sides of whatever buildings are, maybe the Colosseum or something. So I don't know. This, when you make a movie that gets Christians excited, I don't care what your religious or political beliefs are. When you get a movie that makes Christians excited, it will rake in the money.
Mm-hmm.
You factor in their excitement, plus you make it appealing to the general public. You've got a cash cow.
But to your point, it's also not a deeply religious movie. It's not
right.
Jesus, or it's not the Bible. It's a fictional story that takes place in biblical times. I've actually read the book, and the only parts that you actually see related to the Bible that I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, like supposedly he's the one that while Christ is on the cross, he gives him the sponge of vinegar to drink. Like Ben-Hur is the one that actually does that. He's there, he's present, but it's not like the overall theme. The overall theme is Ben-Hur's story that just happens to take place there.
It's Jesus is the backdrop, right?
Right.
That's the way I understand.
Right.
It's not even,
I saw the original movie, but it's been years.
Mm-hmm. It's a really interesting story. I mean, obviously the Charlton Heston movie was hugely popular, but the book, when I read it, was really interesting. I was very young, but I think it'll be cool.
You still are, Scott. The bloom hasn't fallen off the rose yet.
The chariot scenes. I mean, it's look how it did. How old is that movie?
That chariot scene is fantastic.
It's good, but imagine doing it with today's technology.
I think it holds up. Have you seen it lately? I think it holds up. One of the few
No,
action scenes.
Yeah, it really does, and that is like that signature scene that sells the movie. And they've got special editions on Blu-ray and stuff now that apparently look phenomenal. I haven't seen them yet, but they're I've seen rave reviews about it. I mean, on a side note, I love the fact that you put in the notes here, Roma Downey Jr. I mean, Roma Downey, for those who they may sound familiar. She played in
Touched by an Angel.
Touched by an Angel, right. So apparently Aaron has got Iron Angel on this attached to it.
Maybe I assumed that's the ex-wife. I don't know.
Well, the funny thing is, when I read it, I thought you misspelled Robert at first, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I actually...
All right. Well, everyone has noticed that Justin hasn't spoke for about the last 3 minutes because we were talking about God.
Because we mentioned the word Christian, and that shuts him up. It either shuts him up or just sends him off like a Roman candle. One of the two.
Either way. But we're going to bring up the topic that he's dying to talk about, and that is Star Wars. Justin, Star Wars, the extended universe, they've announced that's off the table, and now we have a cast. What do you want to talk about? Please, dear God, get it off your chest.
Well, first let's discuss the extended universe stuff, and I can completely understand why Disney would want to free themselves of all of the extended universe stuff that has been created while it was under Lucasfilm, LucasArts. That's completely understandable because they want a fresh canvas to tell their stories in, that they're not beholden to anything that's, been written. I get that. But to, the real diehard fans, it's a little bit of a letdown because it feels like something that we have invested so much of ourselves in so many hours, minutes, for me, years of my life invested in reading these books, reading the comics, playing the games, yada, yada, yada. It feels a little like all of that, while not wasted, won't be used in the way that we had always dreamed it would be used. But I considering that the Timothy Zahn trilogy that he wrote to kind of finish up the Star Wars arc could not be used because all of the actors, I mean, it wasn't 30 years between the end of the book and the first and the new trilogy in the books. It was just a couple of years. So a lot of that stuff had to be changed anyway. So though that trilogy wasn't going to work, then really why, what are you going to start cherry picking from it? Then you're going to make some people mad, some people not. I think this way, by saying none of it's considered canon, we're not going to use it. It just kind of says to everybody, put it to the wayside. We are going to be going completely new and hopefully unexpected directions. So that's cool.
Yeah, but see, I read up on that, and I don't understand what they're upset about. Because, yeah, I understand that there's a whole other world that they've read books about, da-da-da. But these are the film versions, and
Well,
it
but
doesn't
see
have to... Well, hang on. It doesn't have to be the same material. I mean, yeah, those are different stories that might have taken place in the same world. Maybe they haven't, maybe they didn't, who knows. But the film world doesn't recognize those yet, so it won't matter to film goers. It'll only matter to a very small collection of people.
But film goers, fuck them. The real fans who have kept...
I hate that argument, real fans.
Did you fucking let me finish
Just
now?
don't say real fans. I hate that.
Okay, the people who have kept Star Wars the flame going since the original trilogy finished, those are the people who have been reading these books and who have been told by Lucas that if it's in these books, which they had, up till the time they sold it to Disney, had carefully curated, these things were supposed to be canon. Now, some of the games weren't, and obviously the Marvel comic books weren't. But what they were doing in the Dark Horse comics and what they were doing in the novels, for us who had been reading them for years, we had been told this is the way the Star Wars universe is going forward. Lucas is overseeing all of this. He's making sure that where these books are going or things he approves of, yada, yada, yada. So for those of us who've spent 20 plus years reading the books, reading the comics, and feeling like these were the further adventures of these characters, now suddenly we're going to have to retcon everything out for what the movies are going to do. And so that is a little disconcerting, especially when you consider the amazing characters that have been created in these books. You know, Thrawn being the least of them, the children of Han and Leia being these amazing characters. Mara Jade, who ended up in the books being Luke Skywalker's wife and this pivotal figure, now she's completely gone.
Well,
and so there is a
know.
lot of continuity that fans love that's no longer going to be cared for at all. And it's a little disheartening, but I do understand what Disney's position is, and I can't blame them.
I think they're just looking at the greater good, so to speak, the vast majority, and I think there's just a small minority that have ever bought those books. And I know that they are diehard fans and they love that material, and I get that. But the majority of film goers or people that are going to go to that movie or buy those DVDs, they probably don't even know about most of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't also say the opposite because I have no numbers for the number of people who go to a movie who are fans of Extended Universe and people who have no idea what Extended Universe even is. I don't know the numbers, so I'm not going to say these people make up more of the audience than the other. I'm just saying that me and those people who are fans of the Expanded Universe are a little saddened by it. I think some people, take it a little more extreme than others. But I do agree with you that Disney has to look for the greater good of the franchise and for their films and what they're going to be continuing. So saying that this stuff no longer counts makes sense for them. So you've got that. But what really excited me was when they released that first black and white picture of all of the main cast sitting in that circle of chairs, with J.J. Abrams on one end and just everybody circled around him. It finally felt real to me. When I saw that picture, it was like, yes, okay, they've got these people. They've cast them. Now they're in a room. They're reading a finished script. Now it can feel more genuine. It's not just this thing that might be happening. It's actually coming, and they've released. Of course, we knew Adam Driver was going to be in it. He's in Girls. He's also in Inside Llewellyn Davis with Oscar Isaac, who played Llewellyn Davis. He's also in the film.
Llewyn
Both
Davis.
of those guys, I think, do what?
Llewyn Davis, not Llewellyn.
Oh, I keep saying Llewellyn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's Llewyn Davis. My apologies. They're both great actors. Now, I've never seen Daisy Ridley, as far as I know.
I saw her. I looked her up. What?
She's cute, but I don't know what her talent level is.
She seems to be the most unknown out of the
Yeah,
cast.
she is.
And John Boyega, I don't think I've seen.
Oh,
anything.
he's in Attack the Block.
Attack
He's
the
good.
Block.
Oh, see, I never
Yeah.
saw that. It looked a little.
Well, you're wrong. That is a great movie.
I haven't seen it, but
You would like it, actually. It's right up your alley.
the two actors that really excited me. One's Andy Serkis, and who people would most likely know as Gollum or Caesar. I am really hoping that he's actually going to be playing a role himself, and that he's not there just for motion capture. Because I think the guy has a very interesting face, very interesting character, ability. I don't want to see him just stuck behind yet another CGI'd face.
He does. Have you seen a movie where he's not all makeup up and stuff with him?
I can't recall anything he's ever done where it's just his face.
Wasn't he 13 going on 30? Wasn't he the boss?
Yeah, I mean, he has done a few things, but not many.
He probably has, but I haven't seen him.
I've seen him more in motion capture than I have anything else.
Well, yeah, I think we all have.
Yeah, I mean, people don't even realize how much stuff he's done as motion capture. He's like the motion capture guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's like the go-to. I mean, I think of all the motion capture actors, he's by far the most experienced. He even set up his own studio, so when Monk and Ninja Theory did a couple of games, they went to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he was good. But Max von Sydow,
yeah, that's a good call. I like him.
When I saw that name, I almost shit myself.
That is pretty cool.
Because he is an amazing actor with a presence and a voice that very few actors can approach. I have no idea who he's going to be playing, whether it's good or bad guy, but he is amazing, and him being on this cast list elevates it several degrees. I'm excited as fuck.
What excites me about Max von Sydow is he's not a Christopher Lee type. He's got that same sort of charisma, that elderly, maybe statesman type thing. But with Christopher Lee, you know he's a bad guy. Mm-hmm. You see him, you absolutely know. With Max von Sydow, it's more like a 65-70% chance he's bad. But
he could be Ming, but he could be the good priest on The Exorcist.
He could be 1,000.
So you never fucking know.
Exactly.
I mean, one of my favorite little roles that he had was as a king in the original Conan the Barbarian. It's just a very small role, but he and Conan are talking, and he's talking about how gold loses its luster and all this other. He's so good.
What villain in Strange Brew?
It's been so long since I've seen.
Steamroller.
He is an amazing actor. This is fantastic news. I cannot wait, and I think I say that every time this comes up now.
Well, here's my question about that is his age. I was trying to look it up while you guys were talking. How old is he?
130.
He's eternal.
Yeah, at least.
He's eternal.
Well, that makes me kind of wonder, is he...
How prominent is his role?
I think he's as old as Mark Hamill.
Ooh. Wow.
Who apparently has been beefing up a bit, so... It's good to know they're all on the fitness train.
No. I don't mean
he was born in 1929, so he is well in his 80s.
So my concern is, or curiosity, is he going to be in the second and third films?
Don't know.
We don't know. But
you mean, will he be dead? Will he have Alzheimer's? Will he be lost? What?
Right. I mean,
Gotcha.
is that something that they want to gamble on for what could potentially be the...
Well, but you don't know. It might be just a small part. It might be just in this movie. You don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he could be a Count Dooku type character, or he could be larger. I think if I cast him, I would be casting him as some kind of lead Sith Lord with maybe Adam Driver as his apprentice or something.
Fair enough. The one thing that concerned me is I saw the picture, and I know everybody's on this nostalgia bandwagon. They're all excited. Oh man, they got the original cast back. I'm still not excited about it. I mean, I saw Carrie Fisher. Sorry, she still looks like shit. Mark Hamill, he's okay. Does he look like Obi-Wan Kenobi? No, he doesn't look that cool. He just looks like an old Luke Skywalker. Harrison Ford's about the only one I think that's held up, even remotely. And I don't want those memories. I don't want them to make a movie where they're just bringing them back for the fans that are huge fans of the original films, and they're trying to win back some of that faith that they lost with the prequels, because I think they did lose some of that faith because people were, wow, the prequels sucked, da-da-da-da.
I'm okay with it for one film.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think as long as they just do it to the first film and don't do it in episode 8 and 9, they don't need to be in all three. They just need a way to kind of tie it together, maybe make a little bit of an appearance, but not like a prominent...
Just as a passing
sort of
the torch.
passing the baton type
exactly.
of thing. I would be fine with that.
What do you think, Brian? Because I know Justin, he loves
just
that.
said.
But no, I'm saying no. He was just talking about. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But I mean, what do you think of having them at all?
It's necessary. I really don't want them anything past this first movie. to me, it's almost like just kind of a tip their hat, a lifetime achievement award at the Oscars before they die type of thing. That to me is what it is. I'm not going necessarily to see Han Solo wearing his vest again. I just really don't care. But I want to see what direction they take it. I want to see how they pass it off, how they expand. Even I know not the quote unquote expanded universe, but how they expand the story after this last one or Return of the Jedi. So I kind of want to see what I'm more curious about what direction that goes after that. I don't really necessarily get excited about the fact that I get to see Princess Leia or Han Solo, especially Luke Skywalker. He was kind of whiny anyway. So
now he's old and whiny. Now
I cannot wait to see all three of them back on screen.
No, I think there's a divided camp. I think there's people that are just can't wait for that, and it brings back childhood memories, and there's other people that are just like, I don't want that tainted. So
yeah, I want to see them. It's just I don't want the full movie to revolve around them.
Exactly.
I just kind of want them to be good additions to whatever story is going on. I just acknowledge them, so to speak, get them in there a little bit, and then move on.
And that's the one thing. As much as I think this cast seems pretty solid, I mean, there's nobody that I would call bad in it. Much better than Hayden Christensen or anybody from, well, they had Natalie Portman in the first movie. She is not a bad actress. She just had bad material. And I think a lot of those actors had bad direction. So I don't know how much fault lies on their shoulders, but this seems like a pretty solid cast. But everybody's just going to the moon, and you don't even know what the story's going to be yet. So I have a hard time getting really jazzed until I know, what story are they telling, where's it going to go, what are your plans.
We don't even know who the good guys and the bad guys are yet.
Yeah, you have no idea. People are
and
just
I don't want to
crazy.
know. I don't want to hear anything else about it until it starts to come out.
It's going to be so hard
good
to
luck
not.
with that, Brian.
Seriously.
Well,
Stay off the
I can
internet.
avoid it for the most part, but unless we're talking about major plot points or something on this, which we're not usually prone to do. Mm-mm. So
we also didn't mention, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, Domhnall Gleeson, the main character from About
close
Time.
enough for me.
Oh, is that the guy? The guy from About Time?
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah. I thought he was
great.
awesome. And to see him in not a dramatic role, but more of an action Star Wars role, that sounds pretty interesting.
I'm really curious to see where they end up putting him.
Mm-hmm.
Anything more you want to add to that, Justin?
No, I am completely unbiased in this, and I am on pins and needles until the movie comes out.
How excited do you think those actors have to be feeling right now? I mean, they've known for a while, obviously.
Excited or
but
pressure? I mean, you could go either
both.
way.
Either way.
How do you think the three originals feel? Like, when you're talking about Hamill, yeah.
They probably feel very different, each of them, about it. I'm imagining Mark Hamill's probably a bit more excited than maybe Harrison Ford is.
Yeah, and Carrie Fisher almost retired. I mean, she hates Hollywood, or she did for a long time. I don't know if she still does.
Mm-hmm.
But Harrison Ford, he's been trying to avoid replaying and living that Star Wars lifestyle for a long time. So I was actually shocked to see he would come back. Either there's a huge payday, or they really jacked up his storyline.
If I had to imagine, it would probably be J.J. Abrams coming on board. I think he gives a lot of confidence where if it had been another George Lucas production, I don't think you would have seen Harrison Ford anywhere around it.
I hope so, because George Lucas already tainted one of my childhood idols. I don't really want another one messed with.
That involves the same actor.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You better not have, like, Jar Jar show up in this frickin' movie.
Han Solo flying a refrigerator through space.
The movie needs to open up with like a funeral pyre or something for Jar Jar Binks.
That would be that's how you win fans back right there.
Somebody's got a rug, and it's just Jar Jar.
Instead of a bear rug, it's Jar Jar rug.
Every time you step on it, it farts.
Misa gotta go. Oh, Pixels is coming out May 15th, 2015, and it sounds like a dream come true for you, Scott. I don't even know if we talked about this before, but if not, if we did, we're repeating it, because it bears repeating. Aliens invade the Earth after misinterpreting video game feeds as a threat. So the president calls on an arcade champion to save us all. Then you see who they cast, and now how do you feel, Scott?
I'm intrigued, but this is going to be more of a silly comedy instead of a...
And tell the people who they cast.
Tell the people who they cast?
People listening.
Well, Adam Sandler is the video game champion that they're talking about.
It's basically you.
No, I'm not good at arcade games whatsoever. Kevin James is the president.
It's basically Obama. Yep.
Peter Dinklage is Sandler's like nemesis, which I think is
Hillary Clinton.
Fantastic. I think that's awesome. But I think the story reminds me like a mixture of. Do you guys remember that movie from the '80s, Explorers?
Yeah.
It reminds me of a mix of Explorers and The Last Starfighter.
Or Wizard. What about Wizard?
Well, that was more based on like a video game championship. Yeah, kind of. Maybe you could mix that in there too. But Explorers.
Never leave off the Christian Slater reference. Yeah.
I like the Last Starfighter reference there, Scott.
Well, in Explorers, if you remember the very end of the movie, when they finally meet the aliens are trying to communicate them with all this weird pop culture stuff because all they have is to watch the TV and stuff. They thought that's how we communicated.
It is.
Well,
fortuitous of that film. Yeah.
But obviously this is going to be a comedy film, considering the cast that's involved in it. But I think the only way that you're going to make this work...
That's debatable in 2014 with those guys.
Well, yeah, but I think the only way that you're going to be able to make this work is to get the licensing that they're trying to get. What made Wreck-It Ralph so successful is that they got the actual characters of Q*bert and Mario and Bowser and all this kind of stuff mentioned or showcased in the movie. If they can do Space Invaders and some of those classic retro games and recognizable things like that, it could be huge, but that's going to be a tough hill to climb for them, I think.
Now, who's going to be the champion?
That's Adam
Sandler.
Oh, okay.
So Scott Clark. That's the Scott Clark mold because I was
just glad it wasn't a child.
Right. No, I think the story goes that Kevin James, who's the president, and Adam Sandler were like childhood buddies, and Adam Sandler was, did nothing but play video games, but won all these championships and things, and Kevin James grows up to become the president. Aliens attack, and Kevin James goes back to recruit Adam Sandler.
Because who else would you call, really, in that situation?
Well, I'm trying to wrap my head around how that story's going to work, but like they basically attack us. They look at the video games that we play, and that's what they're reading and saying, oh, they're trying to attack aliens, because all they do in these video games is attack us with little bloopy things from the bottom of the screen, and they're training to come after us.
This movie's going to come out, and you're going to hate it because they insult gamers, or they're going to make gamers seem like assholes.
That's the worry, man. Then
it's Adam Sandler and Kevin James.
Yep.
They're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
And I could just see Scott finally picking up a sign and marching a street corner, just picking in this movie. He's going to be outside the theater going, "This is bullshit."
Oh no, I'll watch
gamers.
I just hate the stereotype that gamers
are nerds.
That they're going to be making fun of you. Okay.
It's not even that. It's that the gamers are this stereotypical, like, don't amount to anything. All we do is play video games, and we have to wait for something like that to be taken seriously. Which that's a dumb story. That's not.
And which game do you pick to say, all right, this person is the best at this game? Let them lead a charge against aliens invading our planet.
Exactly.
Frogger? Because that shit got hard. There was a huge bombshell this week. On top of Star Wars, we had huge news twice this week. The second one is the Justice League movie. It has been confirmed. DC is making a Justice League movie. Cavill, Affleck, and Godot are all involved. So you got Superman, you got Batman, you got Wonder Woman. All we're missing is who's left? Aquaman, Green Lantern, whoever, little Bat Kid. I don't know who else is left.
Is that the Flash?
Flash. There you go. You got Flash.
Maybe
going.
Martian Manhunter, Cyborg.
Hawkman.
Whoa, easy,
Hawkman,
easy killers. And Zack Snyder, who did Watchmen and Man of Steel, is on board to direct. How do you feel about it, Brian?
I mean, I don't know why this is a big surprise. I mean, this is kind of been, maybe just assumed so much that we just kind of figured it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. To me, it was like, wait a minute, we had to confirm this?
Yeah.
The problem I've got with Zack Snyder is everything that I always find some sort of phallic reference in his movies, and I don't know why.
What?
I think that's more about you than it is about Zack Snyder.
All right, fine. Tomorrow, or today, I will post a number of scenes from a number of his movies that he's got some sort of phallic obsession that is very distracting.
Well, I see what you're saying because of the blue dong, and then you got
the big blue dong. You got in
silos and Superman.
Superman alone, you've got a.
Oh yeah, those pods were so unfortunately designed because they looked like big dildos just rocketing up into the sky.
And then when the one goes, sends them to the negative zone or whatever it is, it looks like a giant electric vagina in space. I don't know.
Hey, now you're selling me. It should be like a band name.
Now I want to go rewatch that movie.
Space.
Electric Space Vagina.
I think Man of Steel ended completely different than I recall. I don't remember.
I learned an instrument just to call my band Electric Space Vagina.
What are you talking about? I liked them way back before they were popular.
I think we should rename. That's what the episode name should be. Electric Space Vagina. I don't know how you fit Ho into that, but somehow figure it out, man.
Oh Lord. So what do you guys think in terms of? And trust me, I'm not trying to start a fight. Sincerely, because there are some fans that really have a hard time with the gritty atmosphere that DC's taken with their films. Now, I don't think Marvel needs to be the same as DC, and DC doesn't need to be the same as Marvel. I think it's cool. They have their own things going on. But some people don't necessarily like the gritty take that they have. Can Justice League work in a grittier, darker world?
I think that it can. And I said this online earlier, and I'll repeat myself here in verbal format. DC has long kind of been looked at as the kid brother almost to Marvel because a lot of its heroes are a bit old-fashioned. People always complain about Superman kind of being the big Boy Scout, whereas Marvel always had X-Men and those other heroes that were grittier and darker. I think it's interesting that in the film versions, suddenly the Marvel characters are very bright and very colorful, whereas what happened with Man of Steel and looks to be continuing with Zack Snyder's DC movies, and if you take into account the Batman Begins trilogy of its grittier Batman, DC's got kind of the darker edge, and I would actually like to see them continue that. I don't want DC's movies to look like Marvel's movies. I want to have a different experience. And so if keeping that kind of grittiness is going to accomplish that, then I'm all for it.
Fair enough. That's all I was asking. I'm kind of on the same mindset. As long as it keeps moving forward. I don't love Zack Snyder. He's usually the guy that I have issues with when a movie of his comes out. It's not usually the acting of the story. I think he does a lot of things slower. He does a lot more with visuals than storytelling. That's always been my issue with him. Man of Steel I thought was a leap forward for him because I thought after Watchmen he didn't make anything that really... 300 looked beautiful, but the story... just didn't resonate. And then I really didn't like Sucker Punch. And I know you guys
it is a very visual movie.
Yeah, it's very much a visual. He's great with showing pictures. He's not so good with telling a story. Mm-hmm. But I think he took a step forward in Man of Steel. I think that was a much better film than I ever thought could come out of him. And so because they're continuing to put faith in him, I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm willing to say, all right, maybe he can helm a pretty good Justice League movie. I don't think it's going to compare to like Joss Whedon's take on the Avengers side, but I also think they're very different film worlds.
Yeah, and you might be surprised, but let's not all forget also that Christopher Nolan's an executive producer over these things, and I think his influence has benefited Zack Snyder.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we had an email last week where listener Justin McCamey asked if we could think of any books that would make a great movie. Well, I am sticking with mine, but I'll get to it in a little bit. Justin, do you have an answer for them? Because we said we'd come back to that.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them. Robert McCammon wrote a book called The Wolf's Hour, which was a World War II book, but where the protagonist was a werewolf. Yes, it sounds odd, but when you read it, it actually works. I would like to see a new werewolf film that didn't involve shirtless 17-year-old boys in Washington State. I would like to see a return to the gritty kind of werewolf films that we used to have, and that kind of story would do it. But I would really like to see Patrick Rothfuss. He wrote a book called The Name of the Wind. In fact, it's the first in, I think, a trilogy or so. But it's a doorstop of a book, much like George R. R. Martin's books. But The Name of the Wind was an amazing novel that I would love to see turned into a film. I would, if I had my druthers, I'd love to see Showtime do with it what HBO did with Game of Thrones. But still, it's a fabulous book. I bet it would be a marvelous movie.
For me, I would have to go with Stillwater by Justin R. McCumber.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't have to say it myself.
My God, we're gonna lose listeners.
It would
just
make an
because
awesome movie, though. I'm telling you.
we should have like a shot glass, and every time somebody says Stillwater to pimp his book, we just down it.
No,
See how drunk
with-
we get
with-
by the end of the episode.
With me and books, I'm one of those weird guys that I actually like to read the books after I've seen the movie. Most of the books I've read are ones where I've seen the movie and I like the movie so much that I wanted to see the original source material and just like go and read it.
All right.
So I very rarely read a book first, but a series that I did read is a fantasy series by an author named Terry Goodkind. The series is called The Sword of Truth. Pretty deep fantasy story, but very accessible, especially with the first book. Some of the most vivid characters I've ever read. Like to this day, the villain, his name is Jagang, or Jagang. I'm not sure how it was pronounced. I always read it in my mind, Jagang. I can still, to this day, picture what he looks like or how I envisioned him, and I've always wanted to see that villain and the protagonist in particular, to see them on screen. I think it'd be good.
I've got two. My first is actually was in production or early stages of production until a certain movie called 300 started gaining ground and everything. And then I think they just figured, well, we'll just fold this up and put it elsewhere. It's called Gates of Fire by Stephen Pressfield. And it is the story of the 300, the 300 Spartans who defended the Thermopylae. Mm-hmm. The hot gates, all that stuff. And it's taken from the account of the lone survivor, if you will, as he recounts to his people back in Sparta what was going on. Anyway, it's one of those things where it's like, wait a minute, I didn't think anybody survived. But, well, one person gets out of there.
He made
so
it
to
out.
speak. Right. So the way that it's told, it flips back and forth from his time where he's at to what was going on at the time. And it's not full of all kinds of crazy creatures and hunchbacks with, daddy issues and hurt feelings while they weren't, taken into the club and that kind of stuff. And I just think it would have been a much better story as far as than 300, even though as entertaining as 300 was.
Okay, fair enough.
But the other one, and it's something that I know there's talks of it. The last thing that I remember reading about it, Aaron Paul was approached about it, but The Dark Tower by Stephen King.
Oh, they've been talking about that for so long. I just wish they would do it.
I know it's one of those things that every 6 months, maybe a year pops up, and there's more talk about it, and there's more talk, and then we've speculated on it a few times throughout our 140 episodes to date. So I just wish, I don't know if this would really be a movie. I think we've even talked about it, maybe kind of a Game of Thrones type style series for this.
Oh yeah, that could be great.
I wish.
Mm-hmm. They honestly, I think it would be successful if they really would get into it. That'd be a great fill-in for when Game of Thrones is off the air. It's a great water cooler type show. From everything I've never actually read the book, but everything I've read about it, I've actually got the book to read. So
yeah, I mean, anytime you can mix westerns with fantasy stuff, I mean, come on. This is potentially just a cash cow for somebody, whether it's HBO, AMC, whatever movie studio wants to pick it up. I don't know. Actually, you know what? Real quick, something else hit me. Guillermo del Toro's The Strain, which is going to be a TV show later this summer. Mm-hmm. It was a trilogy for 3 books. Mm-hmm. I think it would do better as a movie, maybe a 3 or maybe a trilogy, a quadrilogy.
But you got to split the last book.
You got to split the last book. That's why I called it a quadrilogy.
Right.
1, 2, and then 3A, 3B. So
okay, mine is Desperation. I'm sticking with it. I've got 2, but that's one of them, and mostly because you could make 2 movies out of it, because there's actually Desperation and then there's The Regulators, which is all the same characters telling a different story. And Desperation is literally my favorite book of all time. I don't know why that one just clicked with me. I've read it like 3 times, and it's one of those books I just can't put down when I'm reading it. They made a TV movie, but it was awful. So I want to see it done well. And the other one's going to make people laugh. Tebow the Talking Dog. I loved this when I was a kid, and it's just one of those things where I've always wanted to see this come to screen, and it probably never will, probably never should.
Tebow?
It's Tebow the Talking Dog. It was written by Mary Berg Whitcomb. It was my first.
Isn't that like a college quarterback?
I wish. It was one of the first books I ever read as a kid, and I just absolutely loved it. It's about this like dog who can talk, but only the dog's kids, the owners, whatever, can hear him, and he solves mysteries. That's really all it is.
Squirrel.
And, yeah. He can actually have a real they hear real conversations out of him. Nobody else hears it. And he's basically helping them solve crimes. And I just think it would be a fun family film to make.
Did they turn that into a comedy on FX? With
Wilfred. Oh, that's funny.
Wilfred?
No. Nice try, though. Boy, was that a reach, but nice try. Okay.
Hey, go, you condescending prick.
Real quick, Bob Hoskins, and he hasn't done anything for a while, but he is pretty well known in a lot of our childhoods from Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Super Mario Brothers. But he passed away.
And Hook.
And
a damn good villain.
Yeah,
like
great villain.
A right proper baddie.
He was. Yeah, he was. He was a great actor. Great character actor. He was never really a leading man. I think they tried to make him a leading man, kind of like the Joe Pesci thing, where he's a better character actor than he is a leading man. But he was a great actor. Mm-hmm. And the Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Scott actually put up a link to the YouTube video where they show him working in that film without the animation. And this is one of the first films that really did it this way. And the work is impressive as hell. Mm-hmm. Just impressive as hell. And you can find that on the Facebook wall, but it's on YouTube too. It's just really impressive. Any other parting words?
I mean, he'll be missed. I mean, I like it, of course. I mean, I love him for Roger Rabbit. It was that is one of those kind of watermark type movies. But it's I always imagine him as a kind of a villain mobster, because I love the British gangster movies, and he's usually a baddie in those type of movies. So that's kind of how I envision him. But he is was a fantastic actor, and his influence will be missed.
That pretty much sums it up.
All right. Well, we're going to skip the trailer park this week. There wasn't really anything big, but I'm sure we'll have some next week because Spider-Man is coming out, so there will be a bunch of them. You can tweet us on H_outsider, like us at facebook.com/The Hollywood Outsider. Leave us a message or text us at 818-81-AMAHO. That's 818-814-6246. Or email us at feedback@thehollywoodoutsider.com. Now let's go to the big screen. There's one movie to review because we're just getting ready to go into summer season, so there hasn't been a lot coming out. But it's The Other Woman. Now I took this bullet for everybody because
is this going to be Kate Upton Justin bullet? Was right review?
Well, I'm pretty sure I said it. I picked it, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, but everybody, you were damning it with some pretty faint praise, whereas I was all, I think it's going to be a lot funnier, and you guys think I think it's going to be funny. I think we saw the funny bits, all the good trailers.
We don't have enough time for.
I don't know if you would have went to see it, then you would probably know.
I got shit to do.
No. If you're gonna claim the praise, then you gotta put in the work.
There you go.
I praised it ahead of time.
I guess we don't have enough time for the Justin's Awesome segment, so we'll move on.
There's always time for that.
All right. Mark King is a pimp. He's married to Leslie Mann. He sleeps with Cameron Diaz, and when those two are busy, he's also hooking up with Kate Upton.
I'm sorry. If you're married to Leslie Mann, you're not exactly a... Hey, never mind. Sorry.
It's the other two that really make him the pimp.
This is true.
Then the ladies find out about each other, and we've got Fatal Attraction with jokes because they want his hand on a plate. You understand what I'm saying? They're Game of Thrones fans, huh? Yeah. Well, from the trailers, every man in America just shrunk in their seat a little bit and said, ugh. It has the makings of a man-hate film of epic proportions. But it's not. It's really not. Mark is a complete douche. But there's other characters in the movie that aren't. You've got Cameron Diaz's dad is Don Frickin' Johnson. Yeah, from Miami Vice. Yes, Scott just rolled up his sleeves like Don Johnson. That's awesome. It's great on audio too, Scott, because nobody knows what you just did.
It was for you, man. It was all for you.
I appreciate it. He's great. Leslie Mann's brother is a nice guy. Plus, we have women that have no problem with dating in the modern day. They have no illusions of a knight in shining armor. They just don't like Mark because he's a douche, because he's banging everybody. Now, in 1985, we would probably be talking about this guy as some kind of hero. I mean, he'd have a cape, he'd be flying around like, I wish I was Mark. But now, Brian still feels that way. But nowadays, he's just a douche. And the other woman is really just trying to talk to that atmosphere, to those people that have gone through that. And here's how you get past it. And it also shows Leslie Mann's character going through the tortures of what she finds out. I mean, she's basically realizing that everything in her entire life is a lie. And I really thought they were just going to play that for cheap laughs throughout the movie, and they really don't. They actually, there are plenty of cheap laughs, but they play it more for the human factor. What she's going through, what the mistress is going through, because Cameron Diaz didn't know he was married. She found out later. Kate Upton didn't know he was married. I mean, he's playing all these people, and they're just coming together because they're tired of it. Other Woman was fun from beginning to end. They managed to also take the issue of infidelity pretty seriously. And Leslie Mann, I will be honest, the first time I've actually somewhat liked her in a movie. I'm still not saying she's good, because she's not. But this is the first time I've actually seen her play a full character in a movie without that screeching voice thing that she does. Cameron Diaz, she's funny as usual, but she's been funny forever. Kate Upton, she just needs a few classes. I mean, thankfully most of her role was standing there, but I think her and Gina Carano should just go to some kind of acting boot camp, not boot camp, and learn how to actually speak a role and sound like you're acting. It's cool. You should try it when you're in a movie. But outside of that, I had a lot of fun with it. And if $10 is the full price of admission, The Other Woman is worth $7.
Nice. Very good.
Mm-hmm. Good date movie?
I thought so. Not if you're the guy, no. Because I tell you what, you can't look at anything, because everything you say after that, you either sympathize with that poor guy, or, because at one point I'm like, oh, they really hit him hard. Because at the end, it gets pretty
spoiler
vicious.
alert. Did they kill him?
No, they don't kill him.
Damn it.
But there's a point where I'm just like, oh, that poor guy. And I swear, I wish I never would have said that. Because now all of a sudden, oh, you're the asshole. Hey, wait a minute. I'm just, poor guy looked injured. Well, The Other Woman, a lot of people like angst, and they went and saw it. $24.7 million. It was a huge hit. Never enough women that are angry in America. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, $16.2 million, dropped only 36%, $225 million. It's over $650 million total worldwide, bigger than Thor 2, and Thor 1, and Captain America 1, and Iron Man 2. It actually beat Iron Man 2 globally. Heaven is for Real, $14.3 million, $52 million. That's a pretty big hit.
That made a lot.
Yeah, Rio 2, $13.8 million. It's got $96 million in the bank. Brick Mansions, Paul Walker's last movie. It's about as dead as he is. $9.5 million.
Oh, really?
And The Quiet Ones is $3. I don't know him. And The Quiet Ones, $3.8 million. So barely a whisper. Yep, that was a huge.
It was
flop.
less than Transcendence.
It was less than Transcendence. Transcendence dropped 61% to $4.2 million. It's only got $18 million. It cost over $100 million to make before marketing. Wow. Eek.
All right, folks, we've got 4 movies that we're going to be talking about, all of them opening up on May 9th. The first one, Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return. This is a CGI film directed by Will Finn and Dan St. Pierre. It stars the vocal talents of Dan Aykroyd, James Belushi, Kelsey Grammer, Leah, is it Mitchell?
Sure.
The chick from Glee. She's doing the voice
Michelle.
of...
Is it Leah Michelle? I think it's Leah Michelle or Liam.
Leah Michelle.
Leah Michelle. We'll go with that, Leah Michelle.
Sure.
Anyway, Dorothy wakes up in post-tornado Kansas only to be whisked back to Oz to try to save her old friends, the Scarecrow, the Lion, the Tin Man, and Glinda from a devious new villain, the Jester. We've, in the past, kind of been a little harsh towards CGI films, especially those that weren't aimed at us, and we've had parents kind of complain. So let's go to our most youthful host and see what he thinks. Scotty, any interest in seeing a CGI'd Dorothy film?
Shit, I thought that was going to me.
You are surprised.
You're the curmudgeon.
Well, when I first saw the title of the trailer, I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. I'm in the minority of people that am not a big fan of the original Wizard of Oz.
What?
It's a classic. The songs are catchy. I will not on purpose sit down and watch Wizard of Oz.
Beautiful.
I know my wife gives me all kinds of crap for that, but
And she should.
Well deserved.
so seeing this, I was like,
How do
okay,
you not
maybe,
watch The Wizard of Oz and just feel better about yourself as a person?
I don't know, man. Maybe because it's like the one movie I was allowed
How do
to
you
watch when I was
hate
a
on
kid.
the Wizard of Oz and not feel like you want to drive yourself off a 900-foot bridge?
He was just telling us, he was enlightening us. It was the
Well,
only movie
when
he
it's
was
like
allowed
one
to
of the
watch.
5 movies you're allowed to watch as a kid, you kind of get sick of it. So
See,
like,
now we see where you're coming from. Out of the closet, watch this Wizard of Oz, go back in the closet.
well, and I watched this trailer, and it feels like they took any of the good stuff from the original movie and replaced it with kids puns.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
And the sad thing is I didn't even laugh a single time in this trailer. It was all
Yeah,
really
pretty bad.
like 3rd, 4th grade level jokes, and I don't mean that. And I just mean like horrible puns. That's
This
really
is
what it
one
was.
of those like Weinstein comedies and CGI comedies where they had like $40 laying around and they're, hey, let's make a CGI movie.
I think it's more than $40. That's a hell of a cast they got for that.
All right, $41. Whatever they got, they put together. Well, it's Dan Aykroyd, dude. I'm sure he's free by now. He's not really doing a whole lot. And Jim Belushi, what's he cost? We could hire him.
James Belushi.
He goes by Jim. He had a show called According to Jim.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Jim Belushi.
Yeah, I mean, Kelsey Grammer's in it.
Martin Short.
Bernadette Peters, she hasn't done anything since like 1987.
Didn't she die?
Oliver Platt.
Yes, they resurrected her.
I'm pretty sure Bernadette Peters died.
And she
considering
came back.
Just did this movie. I don't think.
Oh, I'm
so.
thinking Madeline Kahn. Sorry, Bernadette.
Same thing.
I hope you're holding up well.
Same thing.
Hugh Dancy, he was at.
I'm
I remember him
tired of playing the game.
Jane.
All right, well then they got the money,
Amy
but
Aaron.
it just looks like a crappy movie then.
It does. It looks crappy. This shows why Pixar is considered the best in the business because they can make a movie that entertains everyone from a 2-year-old to a 100-year-old. These companies cannot do that, and it's sad. It's almost the lowest common denominator kind of kid humor. And
This one they're just ripping off the name. I really agree with that. It's
Hey, and Professor X plays a tree. They're obviously stealing it from Guardians of the Galaxy.
fair enough. And plus, we just had an Oz movie last year. And how do you top James Franco, really, when you think about it?
Yeah.
the
Wait.
rare movie where I actually liked James Franco.
There you go.
I like that whole damn movie. All right. Up next, Chef. Now, this one is written and directed by Jon Favreau. It also stars Jean Favreau with John Leguizamo, Bobby Cannavale, and Scarlett Johansson. A chef who loses his restaurant job starts up a food truck in an effort to reclaim his creative promise while piecing back together his estranged family. Brian, I think you're probably an appreciator of some good food, much like myself. You got any interest in watching a guy go from a nice big restaurant to a food truck?
There's something. I like Jon Favreau. First of all, I became a fan of his with Swingers, and he's just one of those guys that I like. He had a TV show on IFC a few years back. Basically, it was like him and about 4 guests.
Oh, Table for Five.
Table for Five, right? Where basically they just sat around for an hour eating. There was none of this pretentious, I mean, they were just you heard the every clink of the silverware on the plate and the ice in the glasses, all that kind of stuff. It was just down to earth. It was basically set up a few cameras and just, hey, we're going to hang out for about an hour or so. So I like Jon Favreau. The trailer or a couple of clips I've seen for this anyway has been fairly entertaining. Sofia Vergara, love her.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know if I want to see this in the theater.
Yeah,
So-
I feel the same way. It looks like something I really want to see on DVD. I mean,
There you go. DVD, cable, something like that. Netflix. It'll be one of those movies that pops up on Netflix, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I wanted to see that about 8 months ago.
it's got a pretty cool cast. I would like to check it out. Maybe like on a matinee, but there's a couple of things coming up here that I'd much rather see than this. It's not a theater movie.
I
Right.
probably will see it in the theater. I really wanted to see it at South by Southwest, and I couldn't. The line was too long.
Oh, listen to you. I wanted to see it at South and Southwest.
Well, just wait till Neighbors comes up, bitch, because I did see that.
Oh, I fucking hate you.
It got a lot of buzz, and it continues to get a lot of buzz. It seems like it's gonna be a fun, interesting movie, and I like Jon Favreau's style when he does independent films. Made, I liked Made. That was another one that he did with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
So I'm in line. I will go to the theater and see it.
I got to tell you, it was funny. I went to look for the video for this trailer, and they're pimping this, or the clip that I found. They're pimping this as a Robert Downey Jr. Scarlett Johansson movie.
He's literally in one scene. Robert Downey Jr. is in one scene.
Hey, you got to get butts in seats, man.
Hey, he did it.
All right. Well, the third film, Mom's Night Out. This.
How did this even make the
I don't
list?
even fucking know how this made it, but it's Aaron put it on.
Wide
so I'm
release.
doing it.
It's getting a wide release. I just don't call it
Your
like I
ass
see
has
it.
got a wide release.
All right, this one's also directed by two people. I don't know why that seems to be the thing now. Andrew Irwin and John Irwin. I'm assuming the Irwin brothers directed.
Takes two
Stars
people to
Sarah
tell the
Drew,
story.
who I've never heard of. Sean Astin and Trace Atkins.
When
Hey,
did he start acting?
Look, he was pretty good in the the Lincoln lawyer guy. He was the biker.
Okay.
All right.
I guess we know who works for Tracy Adkins. Go ahead.
Not Tracy.
Trace.
Trace Edkins.
Trace
Oh, I'm
Atkins.
sorry.
Trace.
Is he a country singer? 'Cause
He is a
Yeah.
country singer.
Then I don't give a shit. So I don't care if I screw his
This ain't
name
no
up.
thinking thing. with my brain.
All Allison and her friends want is a peaceful, grown-up evening of dinner and fun,
Aw.
a long-needed mom's night out.
Absolutely.
What?
I said absolutely.
You have to keep interrupting me.
Yeah. This is what
But
this is
in
what it
order
feels
to
like.
enjoy high heels, adult conversation, and food not served in a bag, they need their husbands to watch the kids for a few hours. What could go wrong? Because husbands are so terrible with their own children. Fuck it. Aaron, any interest? No? All right, let's all move on to the next.
I have zero. And I find it, you know what? I'm so sick of you fucking hippies. I find it insulting to fathers. That's what I
It
think.
is insulting to fathers.
Exactly. Let's pick up a sign, Scott.
Not that I'm a dad, but fuck, dudes can handle children.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't have to have a vagine in order to know how to handle a child, at least for an evening.
Yeah, this was cool in Mr. Mom because in 1983 it made sense. But nowadays, guess what? We're doing it more than a lot of them. So
We don't need an electric
Hey,
space vagina.
There's
is
a
it?
shit ton more stay-at-home dads. So
Yep.
this is an irrelevant comedy. Next.
Thank you. Next.
Well,
All right.
and-
come on, ladies. It's 2014. Why don't you stop putting us in a box?
Sexist bitches.
No, put us in the box.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that too far?
If you'd used a C word, I think it would have gone too far. I
All
think
right.
you could adjust the right amount.
There you go.
All right, our
I pulled out just in time.
as usual. Last film, Neighbors, which Aaron already fucking saw.
I sure did. You want to know
Now,
about it?
this one's directed by Nicholas Stoller, and it stars Seth Rogen, Rose Byrne.
Burn.
Burn.
Just burn will do fine.
Right, and of course Zac Efron. If you've seen any of the commercials, it basically stars Efron and Rogen. It looks hysterical. It's about a couple with a newborn baby facing unexpected difficulties when a bunch of fraternities. It looks like just one, but then more of them creep into the neighborhood, and so suddenly they're surrounded by loud music and drinking, carousing 20-somethings. Aaron, why don't you briefly review this for us? Tell us, should we rush off to theaters and see it?
Well, I'll give you a full review next week, but I will tell you it is fun. It's a funny movie. It's a very funny movie. And you know, when I was talking to Seth and Zach because they were there, basically,
Z-Man?
yeah, Z-Man. That's what I call him. When he took his shirt off for me, it's
Your
very
request?
it's very funny. You know, I paid him like 20 extra.
He's like, Zach, I got these 2 sticks of butter. What am I going to do with them? Oh, I've been waiting all day for this.
And then I signed his chest. All right.
With butter.
The movie itself, very funny. There's a lot of ridiculous things in it. The story is all over the place. It's more like vignettes. It's more like, Saturday Night Live sketches over and over. But it's really funny. And what is his name? Franco's brother, Dave Franco. He's hysterical. That Robert Downey Jr. thing that you see in the trailer is even funnier in the movie.
Robert De Niro, you mean?
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
It's like, what?
What is your fascination this week with Robert Downey Jr.? You've confused. He's two of the most. I mean, you might as well confuse Samuel L. Jackson with Robert Downey Jr. at this point because you couldn't get any more extreme.
Anyway, make sure you stay, especially to the credits, because the way they used the baby to.
Well, don't say anymore.
It's not a spoiler. The baby to say who the cast is, and it is so funny to wait for that because it's hysterical. You'll know it when you see it.
All right. I can't wait. You stole my thunder. I want to see it just for the Robert De Niro scene alone. That just you talking to me? I can't wait.
It's pretty funny.
All right, guys. Well, of these 4 films, Legends of Oz, Dorothy's Return, Chef,
Neighbors.
Mom's Night Out, Neighbors, which one do we all want to go out to the theater and see?
Neighbors.
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 I'll say Neighbors again. I want to see it again.
There you go. It's a clean sweep. Neighbors it is.
All right, you can listen and subscribe on iTunes. Give us a 5-star rating, please. Come on, you're right there in a little
come on,
app.
Robert Downey Jr.
Your Stitcher Radio app gives a thumbs up if you do, and through our RSS feed at thehollywoodoutsiders.com. There's a new episode every Thursday, and often there's extra episodes, so just keep an eye out.
What's this movie?
What's this movie? Each week we play ours or a listener suggested clip from a movie. And if you think you know what the clip is, email us at feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. And next week we'll give you our proper ho shout out. Last week's answer was Justin's pick, and it was Zach and Miri Make a Porno. Those that got it right were Justin
McCumber?
Yeah, Justin McCumber got it right. Those that got it right were Justin McCamey, Jacob Bahi, I can never remember, and Zach Parkerson, and who does a 24 show. So I guess that counts. He's not on our show, so thanks. And Jacob also added great spoiler cast on Cap 2. Hope you guys do more of those. Which we're doing the Spider-Man thing, so we're trying. This week it is Scott's turn. So if you think you know what the clip is, email us at feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. Here's your clip.
Does anyone have a special story to tell a class about something that happened this week? Maisie.
My uncle was microwaving my socks and a dog threw up on the couch for about an hour.
Honest?
Yes.
Why was your uncle microwaving your socks?
He can't get the goddamn washing machine to work.
Blasphemer!
All right, let's go to the couch where we talk about TV and home video news. First up, now HBO just launched the new trailer for their new show, the new Damon Lindelof show called The Leftovers. Justin, what do you think of the concept? Do you think this is the new Lost?
Well, I don't know. At first, what I love that they're doing is that every indication seems to be some kind of rapture. Yet, it's not that clear when you watch the trailer for the show. Now, it is Damon Lindelof, who I do like, but I do recognize that a lot of people don't. And he's going to be overseeing this series based on a book by Tom Perrotta called The Leftovers. And they seem to be he's involved in the show, which I think is good because then the show and the book will have a lot of things in common. There won't be just some Hollywood douchebag throwing out whatever he wants and replacing it with whatever he wants.
Does the book end?
That I have not read it, so I don't know. And of course, it's possible this show will go beyond maybe what the book did. But it seems to be a show just all about this small town where one day a large number of people just disappear. And no one knows why, where they went, what happened to them, what does that mean for the future. It does have a lot of religious kind of overtones to it. There's a group of people who are sure this is the rapture. It's going to cause a lot of divisions within this town. And I think it looks like a really cool show. The trailer didn't show too much about any kind of supernatural things happening other than people leaving. So I'm not sure how much, heavenly or hell activity may pop up in it. But it looks like an interesting show that I'm definitely going to check out.
I really want to see it.
Yeah.
I think this could really work on HBO. I mean, we haven't had a really deep mythology type show on HBO.
Well, and I think it's interesting that they're doing a show that, as much as I like the graphic content and some of the other stuff, I like that exists. Not that I crave the violence and the sexuality or anything like that, but I like that I can go to HBO and know that I don't have to have anything censored. But this looks like it is more of a quality show that doesn't have to rely on that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I'm really excited to see something on HBO that isn't just full of F-bombs and full of...
Isn't just titillating.
Right. So...
I don't know. There were some pretty explicit-looking sex scenes.
Yeah, there was a lot of sex scenes going on in there.
And for the record, this does kind of explore what would happen if the rapture actually took place. So it's not just, it's possibly rapture-ish. It's the rapture.
Like the logistics of accidents happening.
What would actually happen, in those first X amount of time after all of a sudden thousands of people disappear across the world.
And you're still here.
And you're still here.
You're like, uh-oh.
It's not a rapture, but
as far as the book goes, Stephen King actually called it the best Twilight Zone episode you never saw.
Oh. All right.
There you go.
So,
all right, let's go to DVD and Blu-ray, Scott.
All right, we're looking at releases for May 6th. We just got 3 of them this week. The first is The Art of the Steal, which for some reason I can't figure out why Aaron hasn't seen this yet.
Aaron K. hasn't figured out why he hasn't seen it yet, because it has one of the greatest actors of all time in it.
Yes, it stars Kurt Russell as a character named Crunch Calhoun.
Doesn't matter what his name is, he's
How
still
the fuck
badass.
have you not seen Crunch Calhoun?
Yeah, how have you not seen Crunch
I'm going to see
Calhoun?
it. I'm watching it this week, I promise you.
A semi-reformed art thief who agrees to get his old gang back together to pull off one last heist.
As long as it's got Kurt Russell, I don't care if they're just looking at the phone book. Not even reading it, just looking at it.
Also, we've got Veronica Mars, which Aaron was able to view down at South by Southwest. Name drop.
Hey, I saw it when it came out.
I saw it before you. I saw it with them. I saw it with Kristen Bell.
Fucking asshole.
I can just keep throwing that in your face for the rest of your
But
life.
we both saw it, so shut the fuck up.
Was Kristen Bell in your audience? Because she was in mine. Just saying.
So for those that aren't familiar with it, like me, it is based on a television series that ran for
3
seasons. Years after walking away from her past as a teenage private eye, Veronica Mars gets pulled back to her hometown just in time for her high school reunion in order to help her old flame Logan Eccles, did I pronounce that correctly?
You did.
Who's embroiled in a murder mystery.
And I promise new time listeners, I am not arrogant. I'm just giving Justin shit. That's all.
He's arrogant.
Lastly, we've got Still Mine.
Oh, whoa, fucker.
What?
He and I reviewed it. What were our review scores? Did you look that up?
I forgot to look that up, so I was hoping we were going to gloss over it.
you gave them such low scores, it was insignificant. So
I think I gave it an 8.
I give it a.
Yeah,
I gave it a.
you give everything an 8, unless it's a 10.
I don't know. I give your wife's new picture on Facebook a good 11.
Ooh.
This is true. I
You
saw
are
that.
so out of your fucking league.
And I did give her a kiss from you and Scott earlier. So
Can we stop
smile.
creeping people out right now? That'd be great. Justin gave it an 8. I gave it a 9 if you're a fan, a 7 if you're not a fan.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. I remember.
are you apologizing to us or the listeners?
I was
That
apologizing.
you let down.
Yes.
Are you
It's such a
apologizing?
disappointment, Scott.
Have you apologized to yourself yet?
Let's do some research.
Every damn day. Lastly, we've got Still Mine. This is an elderly couple that fights against...
Stillwater? What? No, Still Mine. Oh, sorry.
Shot.
It's the prequel to Stillwater.
God.
Still Mine would be the prequel.
Yes.
Nailed it!
Nailed it. Oh, crushed it.
Still Mine is an elderly couple that fight against local authorities in rural New Brunswick to build their final home. It does star James Cromwell. And that's it. With that, we'll move on to our Recasting the Classic segment. This is where once every other week or so, one of us gives to the other here at the table a classic film that they are to recast with current actors as if the movie were being remade today. I was given the task of the movie A Few Good Men,
Yeah. You can't handle the recast.
which
Like that?
I hadn't seen before this week and actually watched it this week.
That's a damn shame, son.
And I was really impressed with this movie. It's normally a movie that old does not hold up very well. That one holds up very...
What do you mean that old?
It's like
92.
92.
I know how old it is.
Yeah,
I
but
just
it's not a movie that depends on special effects or all sorts of fancy shit. It's mostly in a courtroom. So
Plus,
But it's engaging.
Our Navy peers still wear the same outfits. So
Right. It's true.
so
So
did you handle the truth?
the four actors that are the four roles that I was to recast was Lieutenant Sam Weinberg, played by Kevin Pollak, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, played by Keith Sutherland,
or Jack Bauer.
Colonel Nathan Jessup, played by Jack Nicholson, and lastly, Lieutenant Daniel Caffey, played by Tom Cruise.
You're going to stand there in your faggoty white uniform. And
That was probably one of, I actually like that scene
that was
almost
such
as
a
Where
much
you
as the
stand to
end.
post.
So I'll start at the top with Kevin Pollak's Sam Weinberg. I needed a character that, or an actor that could play a character he's kind of a meek guy. He wasn't real like in your face like a lot of the other characters were, but also had a little bit of heart to him. And I might get a lot of flack for this, but I like Jonah Hill, and I think he could.
Oh, you think he's old enough?
Oh, it doesn't matter the age; it just matters the character. And it's your pick.
Yeah.
I don't like Jonah Hill though that much. So.
I liked him
so
in
a chunky guy with curly hair.
No, I actually want skinny Jonah Hill in this one. Believe it or not,
Great. Now he's got to go on a diet.
Oh, so now
Correct.
we're going to see whether
Jesus.
the actors are fat or skinny.
Well, when you have Jonah,
Fattest.
Jonah Hill does come in both sizes.
Lieutenant, and then Kiefer Sutherland's character he's really for God and country kind of military guy that was on the stand.
By the book.
Very, very much by the book. I went with I don't know how to
I
pronounce
thought you were talking about Stillwater again.
Seriously, let it
By the
go.
book.
Let it go.
Shot. I went with
It's on Amazon.com.
give it a 5-star review if you read it.
Yeah.
For Keith Sutherland's character, I went with Josh Duhamel.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I can do that.
I actually
I
recently
can
saw
see that
him.
do that shit. Oh, fuck.
There's a movie with him that I watched recently, Fire with Fire. Have you seen that movie?
I
yet?
did see that. Yeah, he's actually pretty good in
He
it.
was really good in that. So that's where I got the idea from
Didn't it
that.
have Huey Long in it?
That's my bad. I was thinking Fire Down Below with Steven
Howie
Seagal.
Long.
Seagal.
Howie Long,
Howie Long. That's
Huey
it.
Long.
Huey Long. He was a.
Huey
Governor
Long
of
was a
Louisiana.
governor of Louisiana, yeah. God dang, there you go. Justin, south of I-20, we got this.
Go ahead, Scott.
Next, I went with Jack Nicholson's Jessup.
Oh, this is
and
going to be hard.
I thought this was going to be the one to end with, but I was so looking forward to seeing this movie with him, and he was not in it a whole lot.
He's not, but he's that good. He doesn't need to be.
He's awesome, though.
It was hard to come up with one, and I finally landed on Stephen Lang, who you would recognize from.
Yeah, I know Stephen.
Nice.
Yeah.
For those that aren't familiar with the name, he played the antagonist in Avatar. Very militaristic. I thought that would have been a good call for Jack Nicholson.
Nice
And then
choice. I mean, it's really hard to find any actor that's going to match Jack Nicholson. But
I had about 2 others that I was rolling around thinking about, and I finally landed on him.
Kurt
so
Russell would have worked. I'm just saying.
He
When
wasn't
you
on my
first said
list.
Stephen Lang, the first person I thought of was Stephen Root.
You can't handle the truth, my stapler.
But you know what? Because he's played like these kind of hard ass politicians before, and especially like
That's true.
Justified.
yeah, Justified,
Justified.
Boardwalk Empire. So that's kind of what I envision more than the stapler guy. But either way, great call.
Stephen Lang's a good call, though. He's a bad looking motherfucker.
He's a
Yeah,
great
he is.
character actor too.
And then lastly, the main role played by Tom Cruise. The character's name is Daniel Caffey.
Say Zac Efron, Aaron will squee.
No, not Zac Efron. I actually went with Ben Whishaw, who played
Who? I don't know who that
Ben
is.
Whishaw. He played Q
Ben
in
Whishaw,
Skyfall.
I think I had some of those balls sometimes that you.
You roll him around in your hand.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scott.
he played
Poor Scotty.
he played Q in Skyfall. He was the British guy.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right.
He
Yeah.
was also in
Cloud Atlas.
In Cloud Atlas.
hmm And he's also in a movie called Perfume, which is a really messed up movie, but it's really good. And I think he's an up and coming, and I think Tom Cruise was kind of in that. He was still pretty. He was only actually was 30 when this movie was made.
He was a huge star still, man. He's been a huge star since he was
Oh,
born.
Right.
He came out of the womb with like those aviator glasses on.
So what do you guys think? I know you do.
Yeah.
You're not a big fan of Jonah Hill, but
I think that's great. I don't necessarily like the Jonah Hill one, but otherwise, good cast.
cool.
You peeked at Stephen Lang.
I peaked. So I should have ended it with Stephen Lang, is what you're saying?
They're probably 7 years old. But,
Mostly
you know.
because I don't know the Ben guy. I mean, I know now that you told me, but I wouldn't know him off the top of my head. So I'd probably have to go back and watch it to really get a feel for that. But you saw it, you remember him off the top of your head. That must mean he's solid.
And it was my duty to pass off a movie to Brian, and I made sure that I had one that was over 10 years or 20 years old. And I went with Young Frankenstein.
Ooh,
Oh, man.
nice.
Oh, God, that's a hard one.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to.
Rob Loeffler.
You're gonna have to. Do you know why that's funny?
Why?
Her name is the German word for glue. True story. That's why whenever they say her name, all the horses go.
That does make it funnier.
That does make it funnier, yeah.
Anyway, you were going to be recasting Dr. Frankenstein, played by Gene Wilder.
Oh, the great Gene Wilder. Oh, my God. All right.
The monster, who was played by the late, great Peter Boyle.
Aw.
Igor, who is played by Marty Feldman. And then lastly, Inga, who is played by Terry Garr.
Oh, God.
just
One
like-
of the hottest roles she's ever been in.
Have fun with that, man. That's a good flick.
I love that movie.
Now let's go to our From the Outside In topic this week. And we're talking movie and TV sidekicks. We're talking the poor people that don't get top billing because they're not top billing. We're going to talk about which ones deserve their own series, their own movie, their own stuff. Like, they're tired of being in the little tiny shade of the hero. They want to be the hero. Now, Brian, most movies and TV shows with an established lead or hero feature some supporting characters. So how exactly do you define a sidekick?
He's just that guy that kind of fills in the gaps. And I say guy because there's, you know what, I'll tease you a little bit. I'll allude to this. I'll bring this up a little bit later, but it's always a guy. Why is it never a girl? So
I actually have a
I've got
couple
two
girls on my list. So
Yeah, I've got several girls.
yeah.
just saying, most sidekicks are guys. Point is, they tend to basically fill in the little gaps that our hero does not have, so to speak. Maybe they are the yang to their yin. Maybe they're the peanut butter to their jelly. Whatever the case is, they just kind of, when they need that extra little something, their sidekick is there. So, but they're never as good as the heroes, which is a little bit of a disappointment.
Though occasionally they will get that moment of rising to the occasion to be the hero, but it's always a fleeting moment.
Yeah,
And there wasn't-
It's usually like about a 30-second shot out of one episode that lasts for say 25 episodes in a season.
Yeah, there was an episode of Buffy called The Zeppo, where one of the sidekick characters, Xander, actually starred in the episode, and his adventure was cutting throughout this other thing that the rest of the characters who normally get the ton acting of the show, suddenly they were all the peripheral stuff, and it was just hysterical to see him doing his sidekick stuff and getting in his own adventure while the apocalypse is going on that he's not actually a part of. It was pretty good, but he got to be a hero.
And I also think sometimes the sidekick is that one character that adds brevity to the proceedings. Because, sometimes shows, movies, whatever it is, the hero has to do all these heroic things, and usually the
Not a lot of yucks.
Yeah, that's the guy the guy or girl that's gonna come in and bring the humor or just add that element of humanity to the story that was missing because the hero's too busy just saving people. You ain't got time to be making jokes all the time. So you have somebody in there that can handle that, and it doesn't lower whatever the hero is trying to accomplish. It doesn't lessen it. If that makes sense.
For me, it's just I think the best parallel is an actor's supporting actor, only real people. It's the guy that doesn't get the spotlight as much, but is still just as important to the story. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to note too that a sidekick doesn't necessarily have to be a superhero sidekick or an action flick sidekick.
Absolutely, yeah. We weren't saying it has to be.
No. And I wasn't saying you were. I actually had this written down, because when I think sidekick, I always think like Batman and Robin or something like that. And sidekick can be a comedy duo too, or something like that too.
Absolutely. In fact, I think I only have one comic book mention out of all the ones that I have in my head. So that's what I mean. Sidekick is pretty much well defined, and it's been around for a long time. Do you guys ever see movies where you wish they would add a sidekick character? I mean, do you think it would add something to it?
No, I honestly don't think I ever have.
Okay.
But I do think all of y'all have great definitions of sidekick, save for Brian's misogyny.
I'm sure he'll find a woman before we're over. Now, out of the TV shows that are out there, and there are a lot of them, which sidekicks do you guys think deserve their own show?
Tobias Funke.
Ah,
What?
From
Arrested Development.
He is, to me, the funniest character on that show, and
he's a never nude.
he's never nude. The stuff that they come up with for his character
Is that
to
David
do,
Cross?
It is David
Yeah.
Cross. The stuff that they come up for his character to do in that show just seriously cracks me up. It's one of those shows where you're going around different characters and come back and circle around. That I always can't wait to get back to his story because he has the funniest, the most ridiculous, off the wall, laugh out loud stuff that he does. There's a scene where he's depressed and he's looking at one of those boards that has all the little papers you tear off, and he finds one and he finds one for Blue Man Group, and he thinks it's a discussion group for people that are sad. So, just that kind of stuff just seriously cracks me up. So I want to see a whole show based around just that character because it was my favorite part. Fez from That 70s Show.
Really? I don't know about Fez, man.
I
No,
love-
make your sales pitch. No, stop. Let him make a sales pitch. Come on.
Fez is like this foreign exchange student in all these, 70s kids or whatever. I think seeing how he comes here and how he's trying to introduce himself, because they were like borderline.
You mean Perfect Strangers?
Yes, that's
want
actually
Balky.
yeah. So I guess it already has been done.
You want Belky.
I love Perfect Strangers. Perfect Strangers was so funny.
So you're a big fan of Pez.
Fez.
Fez?
I love Pez too. The little candies and the little.
This is good.
Pez is tastier. Fair enough, sorry.
And then maybe it would be a spinoff, but Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother, who is arguably the only thing that's interesting.
I agree with that, actually. I think Barney's hysterical.
He's hilarious, and the stuff that he goes through, you could do a whole show just around him and his exploits and that kind of thing.
Haven't they done the whole show around him?
I don't watch
Sort
it.
of.
I've seen 3 episodes. He's the only thing I found funny in all 3 of them.
Well, and granted, I
it's the
haven't.
only thing that's any funny about any commercial I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's. But it seems like it should be this Barney Stinson show, and it's being distracted by this whole "how is this guy going to meet his wife" story that after 9 seasons you kind of just don't care about anymore. And that's coming from a guy that hasn't finished it yet. So
The only trouble with this, though, is that sometimes the sidekick character works because they are used sparingly. And I think Barney Stinson is one of those characters
That's
that
fair.
if he's suddenly the main ingredient, I'm afraid it would get old. And, that whole legend, wait for it dairy thing and everything else he does, I'm afraid if you saw it too often, it would sour the character.
that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
For my list, I would love to see, and it doesn't even have to be a full show, maybe just a event series. But I would love to see them come back to Lost, but with Jorge Garcia's Hurley.
Oh yeah.
Now being the kind of the overseer of the island.
Do you think he could handle being a lead? Do you think he's enough to carry a lead?
I think he could. I mean, I loved the character. I thought that the way they ended the show and his position on the island was interesting, and I would be curious to see how he handles all the things that are going to occur on that island with maybe new people showing up. And it would certainly have a much lighter touch than the original Lost had. I would prefer it to have a bit more of a comedic feel to it. But, if any excuse to get back to the island, but seeing Hurley tackle it would be fun. I mentioned Buffy earlier, but I like Willow. I think she was one of the few sidekicks who actually could match and occasionally exceed Buffy's abilities. And I would have had fun watching a witch-centered show on her. And just to, once again, prove Brian wrong in his misogyny, Lana from Archer. I think it would be fun to see her be the lead on these adventures and not Archer.
Fair enough.
And that's it. I love that show, and she is a funny character I'd like to see more of.
I'm going to pick one that probably most of you have never even seen because Intelligence
Is
is
your hipster?
Yeah, that's it. The show Intelligence. Have any of you seen it?
No, is
Josh.
it about to be canceled?
Yeah, it's about to be canceled, but it
Because
starts
it's probably not very smart.
whatever. It's just, I see what you did. It's called Intelligence, which is kind of sad, Justin, because it stars Sawyer. You know, Josh Holloway is the star of it.
I want to see it, but I'm going to wait till it hits like Netflix.
Well, there's a character in the show named Riley Neal, and she's played by Megan Ory, who also played Red Riding Hood in Once Upon a Time. She's a former Secret Service agent, and now she works for the Cyber Command Division, and she is awesome. Like, every time, I can't wait for her to come back to the screen. She's just one of those actresses that makes the character jump off the page. Mm-hmm. I want to see her get her own show, because she's the kind of actress that deserves to have their own show. And I think she'd be great in like the same kind of format, but just off on her own, instead of basically being Gabriel in the show's bodyguard, so to speak. She's off taking care of cases and handling things herself. I could see her as a female Jack Bauer. That's how awesome she is. And she's got so much charisma, man. She's too good for that show. And on the same token, Deputy Marshals Rachel Brooks and Tim Gutterson from Justified. I want to see those two spun off into their own show, like once Justified ends. And that's the lady and the sniper in the marshal's office. I just think those two are great characters that are really underutilized, and I think they could be a great like Marshals team for FX. Brian?
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Arrow's John Diggle. If you know the show, he's He's he was hired to be Oliver Queen's bodyguard, and then basically turned into his confidant. And He's kind of sidekick type of guy. He's got military training. He's obviously a badass, but all he does is spend his time in some dark warehouse / nightclub, helping out Oliver Queen, track down people and stuff. So I don't know. I think the dude himself is kind of a badass. I think maybe you could even turn him into the guy that plays Cyborg for the Justice League movie.
That's a good choice.
Well,
it's
already
That's
cast.
actually a very good choice.
But they already cast it. Ray Fisher's going to do it.
I don't care. I'm just saying you can put him in there. They ain't filmed it yet. That's still got a few years before they even whatever.
I do like him though. I do like him.
I'm sorry, but fucking Robin. I mean, I know you guys
like
are
Batman and Robin, like Chris
You mean
O'Donnell.
from How I Met Your Mother? No, just kidding.
No, I mean, I know everybody's trying to find something a little bit more obscure and all that.
I'm not. Those are actually the ones I wanted to get made.
Whatever.
Just saying.
So why not? I mean, why not Robin?
Is Robin on a TV show? You mean like? Because I'm thinking Adam West. Because we're on TV. Movies is next.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it really could be either one. I mean, he's not. He's been in both genres, so whatever. It's just I think you could do a TV show with him. You could do a movie. Either way, but I think Robin is the quintessential sidekick, and should deserve his own show or movie. Either one.
Do you feel bad he's never gotten his time in the light?
Look, the dude, the guy has been he's been put into freaking some scaly vest, red scaled vest and green underwear. I mean, for 70 years, the kid needs something.
Yeah, therapy mostly.
He's suffered enough. I think he's paid his fucking dues. I mean, if you want to make him Nightwing, fine, but give him his own show.
All right. What movie sidekicks deserve their own films or franchises, and why?
The first one that popped into mind for me was obviously Hit Girl. She's the best part of both of those kick-ass movies.
You son of a
And
bitch.
I consider her a sidekick because her name isn't on the title, but she definitely needs her own movie. War Machine, I think, if he had his own movie, would be interesting. People might ask, well, what makes him different than Iron Man? I think a lot of things make the character of War Machine different from Iron Man. One being that Rhodes is not Stark, but I also think that the suit would be used in a more military way as opposed to what they've done with Iron Man, and I think it would be an interesting spin to have him have his own film, but that'll probably never happen.
Now, wait. Which roadie do you want? Do you want Don
We
Cheadle?
got to go back to Terrence Howard.
All right.
Yes.
There we go.
Got to go back to him. Now, of course, Adventures of the Jew Bear. He has to be out there killing Nazis. I think he's probably doing it so entertainingly. He got to have his own movie. And the last one, this one was a little bit of a stretch, but Casey Affleck's and Scott Caan's characters from the Ocean's movies.
Yeah.
I would
cool.
love to see them have their own.
Yeah.
That's a great
movie,
call.
because God knows what they would do or where they would go, but it would be fucking funny.
I like that.
I do like that.
So that's what I've got.
Brian?
Oh, all right. I'm going with probably maybe outside of Robin, the greatest sidekick ever.
Tonto.
Short round.
Chewbacca.
Son of a-
What kind of movie is that?
Look, I haven't thought out all the logistics of making a full movie about a hairy 7-foot dog that doesn't speak English or even
I could see that.
even human or whatever.
Here's the script.
Look,
That's a
they
line.
They make plenty of animal movies that you know. So somebody smarter than me can figure it out. But
Definitely smarter,
Chewie,
yeah.
for something that doesn't speak human, he's got enough swag and charm and charisma to carry a movie. And if you know,
I like
I'm
it.
just saying,
I
he
like
can
it.
do it.
And ironically, those are our most 3 used words on this podcast.
I want to make sure I got them all in there. Let's see. That's really about the main one I had. Maybe if you want me to go back to Robin, I'll go back to Robin.
You just want to beat Robin over the head. Robin again.
I just want to beat you over the head right now.
All right. I have Hermione and Ron. I think that would be some kind of magical version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think that would be pretty cool. The biggest one I had was The Rock, Tyrese, and Ludacris from Fast and Furious. Give them their own movie where they are just going off trying to, like Tyrese and Ludacris are helping Hobbs get his man and some kind of heist deal. I don't know how you do it.
So
But
they're just the Furious.
yeah, it's just the Furious. Yeah, we don't need the Fast.
I don't even think they were all that furious. They were probably more fast.
But they were fun. They play off each other so well. I think they'd be so fun. And the other one is the Iceman from X-Men. A good friend of mine has a great case for how Iceman is the most powerful mutant on the Earth of all the mutants.
Yeah, but do you want the same guy, Sean Ashmore, playing it?
It doesn't necessarily have to be the same guy. I want that character.
Okay.
Character. It doesn't have to be the same guy.
All right.
Because I think there's something to him getting his own franchise, and so put his ass in it and see what we can do with it. We've already got the claw guy. Let's get the guy with the cold.
So what is a brief synopsis of this magic theory that Iceman is the most powerful?
Well, it's just because he can basically freeze anything. So the theory is no matter what is coming at him, the cold can stop it. And
But he can freeze it so long as it's got liquid in it, because that's his power.
There's more to his theory, and I don't have that argument with me, and I'm not a total fucking nerd like you guys, so I
I have
can't.
to hear, because really Magneto could pull the iron out of your blood, shredding you.
Hey, if you're listening, buddy, make sure you write in, because I'm not making this argument with him. I still pick Iceman.
Yeah, we want to hear your theory.
I don't have
man.
time for a geek out like this. I can't come to this level. I've got too much coolness in me for this.
Oh, fuck.
So you guys have fun. Don't you have like some?
As he says into his podcast microphone.
I'm too cool for this.
Touche, Scott Clark. All right, let's mention some of our listeners' picks. Jeff Bredesen.
I don't get mine.
Oh, you get yeah. Well,
No, Scott.
You
You,
shouldn't
know
have
how
fucking
he does.
made your
He just
little
gets in his mood and he just skips over people.
shouldn't have made your little joke. Not so funny now, are you, fucker?
I got a couple that I can't believe weren't on Justin's list. I want to see a movie around Trinity from The Matrix.
Why?
Because she
died. She's done.
No, I want
Spoiler
a
alert.
backstory. I want
Spoiler alert. Oh, backstory? Yeah, that could be cool.
because Morpheus unplugged her at some
Who
point.
would play
and
her?
Why not? Why not? She is.
You want to do a prequel? She's like 60 now or something.
Melissa McCarthy.
I like it. Brian knows how to make a movie
Envisioning
work.
Melissa McCarthy wrapped up in that latex black suit.
And I think as much as I would like to see a Chewbacca movie, it would be difficult for the language barrier, like you said. I think a Boba Fett movie makes a lot more sense than
Fuck
a Chewbacca
yes.
movie.
One talks barely, the other one doesn't talk. How do you make either one of these movies work?
You make...
Well, I guess Boba
straight
Fett
talks.
without the helmet. You can take
Yeah.
the helmet off, sure.
And
I
he
guess.
talks with a helmet.
How about Boba Fett and Chewbacca teaming up?
Oh, that wouldn't make
That
sense.
wouldn't happen.
The one, like, freezes his boss. I don't know if that's... At some point, he's got to kill him.
Look, I'm sure at some point in all the expansion of this Star Wars universe, there's been something where
Hey, the expanded
maybe
universe stuff is no longer.
It's off the table,
applicable.
sir. It's off the table.
We talked about this.
get me in a room with the Disney people.
You'll sell it.
I got this.
And they have a restraining order on your ass. They're going to let you in the building.
That's got nothing to do with Star Wars, though.
All right. Our listeners' picks. Jeff Bredesen says, I vote for Pedro.
I guess I'm done.
Nice. Oh, did you have more? Maybe you should talk faster, Scott.
I try. These fuckers keep interrupting me.
Yeah, these fuckers.
Fucking fuckers.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I've mentioned on the show before, but I absolutely love the movie The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. And I want to see a movie based around Mos Def's character. His character's name was Ford Prefect. I want to know
Ford
that...
Lincoln Mercury.
Ford Lincoln. I want to see that dude. I want to see more with that dude. He's so funny. He's got a knowledge of everything.
Mos Def's a
the
really
book.
good actor.
He is. He's really entertaining. He's hilarious in this movie.
It was so disappointing, though.
What was?
Really?
It was not nearly as good as the book.
Yeah, I
and I
didn't
hate
like
to
the
say
movie.
that because it sounds so cliched.
I didn't like the movie either at all. But I liked his
love the
character. I
movie.
love it. And Sam Rockwell I like. But
Oh, Sam Rockwell was so funny. Zoe Deschanel was in it. I liked it, but his character was awesome.
Hey, are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
You sure?
Yes.
You want to come up with any?
Finally.
Doc Brown.
Doc, really? From Back to the Future?
Yes.
Just following him through time, pretty much?
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
he had to... Dude, he made money as an inventor. How do you make money as an inventor and don't have anything successful until you're in your 60s?
It's true. He's not a very good inventor. Yeah. All right. It'd be
He did
interesting.
have that big ass speaker, though.
Yeah, that's true.
He did. All right. Now, Scott, are you done?
I'm officially completed.
Okay.
Done.
Jeff Bredesen says, I vote for Pedro. Sean McGuire says, Nightwing.
Pedro.
Jeff Lascala. Well, I'm not going to make jokes about it because I said Pedro like 8 times at this point. Jeff Lascola says Carlton Banks. Awesome.
It's not unusual to be
Let's
loved
do.
by
That's from
anyone.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Scott Calgaro
Oh, my God.
says,
Scotch.
I'm sure, yeah, Scotch. I'm sure I'll catch holy hell for classifying these two as sidekicks, but if you consider the billionaire, immortal, super soldier, rage monster, god status of the other characters, two very talented but very mortal assassins are basically sidekicks. I would love to have seen a pre-Avengers movie devoted solely to the early career of Black Widow and Hawkeye, partially because they are interesting characters, but mainly because I want to know what the hell happened in Budapest.
She has a very different memory of it.
Yeah, I really like Scarlett Johansson. I don't know if she can do the whole movie though.
No.
She's done other movies.
Yeah, and I don't think she's
she
held
starred.
them. I don't think she's held them. I'm not somebody in the camp of Scarlett Johansson as leading actress. I think she's great in supporting or becoming better in supporting roles.
I gotta agree with you there. I wouldn't pay a lot of money to see that.
And I actually think Marvel has ruled it out because they don't think the character itself can sustain a full length feature at this time.
Well, they're dumb.
They're not dumb. I agree with them. Brian agrees with them. So they're
Just
not
because
dumb.
you fucking
You would
agree
need-
don't mean they ain't dumb.
Doesn't
You would need a
mean-
Gina Carano type character who could act.
Yeah, I gotcha. She's very good at playing off other people. I don't think she's the actress for that. Now, maybe if you recast it down the road, maybe I could see it. I just
Little
don't think
late for
she's
that.
the one. What's that?
A little late for that.
No, it's never too late for that. Hello, they just recast Spider-Man like 3 months after he fucking finished the last movie. That's just how it works. Carlos Hernandez, War Machine and Rhodey, a Kato movie, and a standalone Chewbacca movie. God, Brian, what did you poll these people?
Kato movie.
I'm telling you, that would
Kato
be
from
awesome.
Green Hornet.
Oh, okay.
Wah.
But he thinks Chewbacca movie maybe during the Rebellion era. There'd be a whole lot of that noise. Marcus Shelton, I think it would be interesting to follow the Watchers from Buffy as they struggle with generations of superpowered teenage girls. Oh, I like
They were
that.
going to do that. For a while, there was talk of Joss Whedon and the BBC doing a show based around Giles called Ripper, but they never actually did it, and that's too bad. I would have watched that.
And I followed a bunch of teenage girls one time, but it turned out a whole lot different.
David,
I called it watching. They called it stalking.
Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever.
David
Yeah,
McGrath
romantic,
These are my
says,
proteges, not my victims.
the
Exactly.
longer you talk, the more of your bits I cut. That's all I'm saying. David McGrath,
Cut whatever you fucking want. Don't threaten me.
That's right. Yeah.
Don't threaten me.
I don't pin me in a corner.
Nobody puts
'Cause I
baby in
come
a
out swinging
corner.
like a spider monkey.
That's right.
David McGrath says Neville. That's right, I said Neville. Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter. At the end of the last movie, the boy was just getting started on a career of kick-assery. And also, this might be a stretch, but Boyd Crowder from Justified. Oh, hell yeah.
Nah.
I love Boyd Crowder.
I do too. I think he's.
But you're right. I don't know if he could do a whole show. Yeah.
And let's face it, half of Justified is Boyd Crowder.
It is.
So you pretty much got that already.
That's
With him
true.
just throwing exploding cigarette packs at everybody.
Randy Westcott says Garth Alger. That's Wayne
Algar.
and Garth. Duh.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, party on, Wayne.
Somebody's.
Josh Time, Whistler from Blade, and Hit Girl Big Daddy. I think Whistler is... Whistler would be good. I don't know why I was thinking Ryan Reynolds, but Whistler, yeah, that could be interesting. But you'd have to recast that young.
Yeah, you'd have to go back to his early years. That would be cool, though.
Yeah, that would be interesting. And one last one, let's see, from Dustin Baker. He says, gonna nerd out, folks, but this one is a pretty easy pick for me. Someone who was greatly overlooked and underrated in the original Star Wars trilogy. A character who did more for the Rebel Alliance than those silly Bothans? I don't know what that is.
Oh, God damn.
I'm sorry. Do I live?
Many of them died to get that information, dude.
No shit.
Yeah, I don't live and breathe
Dude,
Star
honor
Wars.
the sacrifice.
Wedge Antilles is considered the best pilot in the Rebel Alliance. He was the only Rebel pilot to survive both attack runs on the Death Stars. Wedge has played the main character in several stories in the expanded universe, R.I.P., and would have plenty of material to cover an entire series with his adventures alone. Don't know
Yep.
anything about him other than he's that one guy that said, lock on target,
Well,
lock on target.
They reference him
No,
a
he
lot.
didn't actually say that.
Well, then I don't know who the fuck he is. He's just the Wedge.
That was Porkins, wasn't it?
Who gives a shit?
That was Porkins. But actually, the guy who played Wedge Antilles is also the uncle of... Oh, the dude who played... Why am I so terrible with names?
I don't know.
The guy who played Obi-Wan in the prequels.
This is
Probably
what you guys were
League.
doing while I was having sex in high school. I just want to point that out.
Ewan
Who?
McGregor?
Yes, Ewan McGregor's uncle is the guy who played Wedge Antilles.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, there's a whole series of books, rest in peace, as he said, that were centered around Wedge Antilles and Rogue Squadron.
Does anybody else find it funny about how like all these actors, the little fill-in characters, especially like all the pilots of all the X-wing fighters and all that stuff, are a bunch of fat middle-aged men, and then the three newer ones, everybody's like chiseled jaws and very pretty.
It's called Life.
All right,
Just saying.
let's go to Whole Corner. Brian, you got anything you want to talk about this week?
What I want to know is why does every sidekick have to bow down to every single whim of the superhero that he or she is following?
What do you mean?
All right, I mean, so you want to wake me up in the middle of the night to fight the Joker? Fine. You want to teleport me across to another planet in some other galaxy? Fine. You never hear like, look, all right, but I got to be back by Tuesday because I've got a softball game because I missed the last one because you made me chained up in a sewer with Dr. Mecha Croc or something like that, and to be used as bait while you were on date with some hot actress.
Because I ain't the funky bunch to your Marky Mark, I.
Yeah, I mean, like every time that you tell me there's some big thing that's got to be, I've got to come running. But
That's
yet,
true, yeah.
I don't have a life.
You ain't the center of me.
Does said sidekick have to sign a contract?
I think so. I think it's a union thing. I think once they join the sidekick
It's a
union.
superhero union?
Yeah, they become expendable, and
Is there a certain hourly quota that he's got to hit every week?
I'm just picturing those Morning, Ralph.
Hey, look, I'm sorry there, Bats, but look, I've done 65 hours this week already. You're keeping me up late at night. I don't have any time for my fucking family.
And that Batman would say, "You ain't got no fucking family because your parents are dead. I took you in, fed you, put a cape on your back, motherfucker. So when I say jump, you get to jumping."
How awesome would it be if there was a superhero union and then Batman called Robin and Robin's like, I already did my 40 hours, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought, you got to call my rep.
It's filing a grievance.
Yeah, that's extra pay. I covered this. And why don't I get a light, you son of a bitch?
Robin spotlight.
Nobody's got a Robin spotlight going on.
I'm just picturing Robin like in an epic duel with like some villain, like the Joker or something, and all of a sudden you hear a whistle blow and they just stop in midair, punching out.
Oh, they've done that in the
Morning Ralph
cartoons when
like the
the
Flintstones.
Wile E. Coyote and the dog are fighting.
Morning Ralph.
Sorry.
Morning Sam. They're drinking coffee.
Oh, I don't know, Brian. That's a good point. I think it's unfair. We should once again pick up a sign and stand in the corner.
That is the downside
sidekicks.
of being a sidekick. You never get laid.
And it's always your girlfriend that dies. It's never like the hero's girlfriend. It's always like the sidekick's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or the sidekick himself.
Hey, and what if you got an older male hero and then a young teenage female sidekick?
No,
Well, that's
according
just perverted.
to you, there are no
I'm
female
just saying.
sidekicks. You don't have to worry
According
about
to you,
it.
there are no female
Yeah.
sidekicks, though.
Just
Well,
saying.
They're victims.
I'm just saying. I mean, that does imply something, doesn't it? I mean, you just
Yes, that you're sexist. Yes. Just that.
The only one I can think of is she called him Big Daddy.
That adds a whole new level to it. Shit.
Who's your big daddy?
Okay, and also Facebook likes Arun Gick. I swear to God, that's what it says. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but that's how it's spelled. So thanks for liking us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/The Hollywood Outsider and like us there. Emails Justin. You got the first one.
All right, first I would like to thank all of the listeners of the show who have purchased a copy of my book, Stillwater. I do really appreciate it, especially those who sent me pictures where they took a selfie of themselves with the book in hand. I have a Pinterest board that is nothing but pictures of people with the books because I use it to just show me the faces of the people who bought it and really enjoyed it. Some of them are quite creative. I think, Aaron, you raised the bar to a level that I don't know if anyone else can approach, of taking a picture of himself on the toilet with my book as he's looking frightfully at it.
If listeners go on Facebook and ask for that, we will share it on the whole wall, but I'm not doing it unless somebody asks for it.
It was very cute. But thank you all for buying it and for sharing those pictures. Now, on with the show. John Davenport says, so considering how you gave me credit for last week's What's Your Movie, I thought I would write a little more than just my answer this week. I checked my sent emails. It's definitely not there, but I did think it to you guys telepathically, so that might explain how you got my answer without me sending it.
I'm sure I just assumed that you got it right.
There you go. Anyhow, I just wanted to let you guys know that I really appreciate the HoCast. My wife actually introduced me to the idea of listening to podcasts, and I adopted a lot of hers in the beginning. She's a huge film and TV snob, however, and most of the podcasts delve too much into the muck and mire of production and go so far as to lambast movies and TV shows just because they feel like the writers must have been patting themselves on the back for a clever idea, because, that's the thing you do. I was really glad that for the most part you all seem to grade a movie on the movie and not assign values to unseen back padding or some other contrived reason to just dislike something.
Try to, yes.
That's what we try. The cool thing is that I got my wife listening to you guys too. She has chosen to inform me the B to the Dubs is her favorite of you guys. That would be Brian Williams.
That is the cool thing. That is part of that email, just got to say.
All right. Not surprising, really. Her family lives in good old Georgia, where you can just take your gun anywhere. Pew, pew, pew. That's going to be fantastic. Yeah! I personally dig each of you, and listening to you guys is kind of like being a part of a good group of friends. Each one of you seems to speak to different aspects of my personality. Aaron and B-Dubs keep this whole thing manly and grounded.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Well, Scott is there to let me know that romantic comedies and children's movies are an acceptable alternative. And then there is Justin. Every time I agree with him, I feel like I should just punch myself in the baby maker.
Me too.
I don't think procreation will be in my future because of the swelling. Just kidding. Yeah, fuck off. Thanks for being you, John Davenport. I don't know why people hate it when they agree with me, because obviously I am right.
We do.
And
We know
revel
exactly
in
why.
being right.
We exactly know why. Why? Yeah, we know. We get it.
Just feel dirty.
I'm still feel shameful every time I say I agree with Justin. Ugh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, put your head on B-dubs and carried on.
All right, next up is David McGrath. He said, just watched Spidey 2.
Screw you, David McGrath.
Yeah.
Overseas seeing movies before us, motherfucker.
He just writes in to brag now, I think, pretty much.
Good for him.
He does.
Good for you. I salute you, sir.
And he says, Spidey dying at the end is very
He
tragic.
does
and-
not. Oh, he does.
All right, just kidding. All right, so anyway, he says, just watched Spidey 2. Great action and some good laughs. Some issues, but all in all, a fun summer superhero flick. Good times.
Thanks for seeing it before us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate you just letting us know, just rubbing that in a little bit.
A little
So,
salt in the wound, man. We appreciate it.
This is bullshit.
I hope you had to read a shit ton of subtitles in Korea. Next up is Craig Schermerhorn. He says, was rewatching Next of Kin, underappreciated movie.
Liam
Great
Neeson?
cast.
Or Patrick
Is that
Swayze?
the movie with,
Yeah,
with
Liam Neeson and Patrick Swayze,
yeah.
wasn't it?
holy crap. Yeah.
And remembered, and he says, and remembered my number one actor that should just stop acting, Bill Paxton.
Ooh.
He's been in great movies and has always been the exception. Will Ferrell should still be thrown from a high building, but I hope Bill Paxton breaks the fall. Jesus Christ.
I like that guy. Go ahead, Scott.
I
This
didn't think it
one,
was a whale's dick, honey.
we got another email that I don't see who it's from.
Justin McCamey.
but not me.
Okay. We've got one from Justin McCamey. He says, hello to the Ho Bunch. Great podcast this week. I do hope you guys do a special web-filled episode for Spider-Man, which we will be doing. It will be posted by Tuesday. This week's clip is from the writer/director I really enjoy, Kevin Smith, Zach and Miri. Isn't it Miri?
It's Miri. Yeah.
Zach and Miri make a porno. Staying in the same vein, the song at the ending of Clerks 2 was a great ending song for a movie. It really hit the right tones. It was Misery by Soul Asylum.
That's true. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, good call.
Last week, you mentioned famous people in horror movies. The biggest one I can think of was Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street. Didn't he, die at the very beginning or something?
Well, it was about midway
alert.
through. He got sucked into his bed.
The
and
blood
then
bed.
a blood fountain.
Yep.
Right.
It's like the greatest Nightmare on Elm Street scene ever. Death scenes, anyway.
So, lastly, he says, so my wife and I go to this nice out-of-the-way theater that no one heard of. Then in the news, some guy was texting, and another pulls a gun and shoots and kills him. This was our movie theater. So my question for you is, what was the worst thing you have experienced in a movie theater? I'm glad you asked that question, Justin. Even though I didn't see a shooting and anything bad like that, I went to see the original Shrek in the theater, and about halfway through it, this group of kids sitting in front of me walked up towards the front of the screen. One of them took off his trench coat, completely butt-ass naked, did cartwheels right under the screen and said, I love Shrek, and then ran out the exit fire door. True
Why
story.
couldn't he have done that through the truck, too? At least then you'd have gotten something entertaining.
But Shrek 2 had puss in boots.
Oh, Jesus.
What is the worst thing you've experienced in a movie theater?
I've only had loud kids. That has been the worst.
I saw a fight break out once, but that was pretty awesome because it was between two girls, and one of them took the popcorn and punched her through the popcorn, through the bucket.
Nice.
Awesome.
It was pretty badass because she held up the popcorn
Popcorn.
no, they were fighting, and she holds up the popcorn, and they're
To
like
defend
they're
herself?
going back and forth, like bitch, 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 back and forth. And then one of them held up the popcorn in front of her face, like you ain't gonna hit me, and she punched her through the popcorn thing.
Wow.
It was
You
awesome.
run up going, fight, fight, fight.
Yeah, and then I started pulling their hair. Yeah, I just did a total. Yep, it was nice.
Oh, the
Did their
worst.
extensions come out?
Yes.
Pull out that nappy-ass weave.
Yes.
I think the worst thing I ever experienced in a movie theater was Moonrise Kingdom.
Oh, look at him. Scott reached deep for that joke. All right, we got Sean McGuire. Hey there.
Drive.
Hey there, guys. In response to a listener email, I found a few books that I would love to see made into movies. I think an updated version of My Side of the Mountain would be a great movie. One of my favorite books from when I was a child. I've never heard of it, but I'll look into it. Dead
Sounds like some hillbilly shit to me.
Dead Mech, I think, would be a great movie since zombies and giant robots are both still hot. Sean McGuire. Dead Mech.
Yeah, I actually know the author of Dead Mech. His name is Jake Bible, and it is a bit of a mashup where the world's kind of been overcome with zombies, so they design these mechs to go out and just kill them all, in big numbers. But the pilot of a particular mech actually turns into a zombie while in his mech, and it doesn't go well.
Oh, wow.
How does that interact with the kaiju and...
There are no kaiju, unfortunately. I do
Lord.
need to talk with Jake and make sure he introduces something.
And
Okay.
Chile, she was on Twitter, actually, and I pieced this together because she did them in several tweets. But I have to give a big shout-out to Hollywood Outsider for being a movie podcast that understand their opinions on films are opinions and not facts. It was what's that?
I do, Aaron. You're a little...
I mean, my opinion is definitively is fact.
It was the first thing I noticed about the
I speak
podcast.
universal truth.
Shut your whore mouth. Your wonderful friendships was second. Almost everything I read in articles or online seems to come off as their opinions are fact because they see themselves as legit media, even if it's a blog. Even with the success of your podcast, where many say you're legit media, most of those people that say that are us.
Fox would say it.
You've never done that. To me, that shows you respect your audience and not underestimate your audience. Sorry for so many tweets. I have a bit of Justin McCumberitis.
We've got an audience?
Yeah, well, your mom, my mom.
Yeah.
I think she was saying Justin McCumberitis.
Thank you, Scott.
I think she means I say a lot of things.
It means you're infectious.
No,
Lovely and delicious.
or a fucking disease. One last thing. You explain your opinions, so even if we don't agree, we understand why you think that. Okay, done now. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Now it's either Chalet or Chell, whichever one. We appreciate it. And we do have a voicemail, so here you go.
Hey guys, this is the ghost of Billy Zane. I thought I would be your first celebrity caller. First, I wanted to let you know, Aaron, I'm nominating you for sainthood for putting up with all of the shit you put up with on the show. Scott, don't think that I didn't catch you breaking into a Beastie Boys song when you ripped Aaron for thinking Dan Snyder was from Twisted Sister. I caught that, buddy. Justin, love the book. And Brian, just keep doing what you're doing. That pause was just for you. I'm offering up a flashback this week. It's called Blue Seduction. It's my finest hour. I suggest you guys check it out. It is the Ben-Hur of my career. As always, keep up the good work, boys.
All right. Thanks, Billy Zane's ghost. I didn't see that coming. Make sure you stay through the credits for outtakes. Go to thehollywoodoutsider.com or tweet us at h_outsider, facebook.com/thehollywoodoutsider. Email us feedback at thehollywoodoutsider.com. Our number is 818-814-6246. We are not going to give Justin any more chances to plug his book. You can listen and subscribe for free on iTunes, listen on your Stitcher Radio app, or through your RSS feed. That's going to do it for this episode of The Hollywood Outsider, guys. Thanks, Justin, Brian, and Scott, for being here.
Not a problem.
Hey.
You're welcome.
Buy Stillwater. Amazon.com.
Oh, Brian, I love you.
Look, I know he wasn't going to let you talk, so I figured I'd slip it in there for you. I
gonna be
snuck it in Aaron's back door.
And remember, that's not the first time you've done that. The next time you go to a theater, buy popcorn. Brandon's ridiculous. He's just like, Hodor, bring me the razor. Arr. Hodor, shave.
You know, then you got to get all the paint, and then of course I'm OCD enough. It's got to be a perfect circle, not just a half-ass crooked circle.
You've actually looked into this?
It sounds like it.
No, I'm just fucking in depth with my jokes.
I broke my toe today, just so you know.
Did you actually break it?
Yeah, it's broken.
That sucks, man.
Shame you didn't break your lips. No trailers this week?
Nah.
So can we do the trailer park theme and then go, sorry, trailer park is closed this week?
or do the theme and then have that wah, wah.
You don't have to worry about cutting them off. We're not doing the actual show.
No, I was more or less worried about being rude.
Aw.
Oh,
Oh.
Aaron, fuck you.
Yeah,
See, he's
boom.
trying to be nice.
Yeah, well, Scott's always trying to be nice. So,
Yeah, but he was just rude to you. Hey, and real quick, how do I sound? Because you guys are a little scratchy.
you sound
Fun to us.
country to me.
I get a hard on every time you speak.
Oh my God,
I get ninny.
Oh.
Every time you speak, I get ninny.